As always, and into this pandemic, Latinos have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps, helping themselves and each other. Actor, director, and activist Eva Longoria has always fought for Latino rights through her own foundation and other causes. For this report, Eva joined actor, producer, and activist Wilmer Valderrama, who has long advocated for marginalized communities and is now also shedding light on essential workers through his new social media series, 6 Feet Apart.
How can we do what we do while still supporting you guys?
And chef and humanitarian José Andrés.
Take a look. Very big space. Here we are feeding nurses, doctors, National Guard.
With his world central kitchen, is keeping America and the world fed at a time when money is short and food bank lines are long.
It looks great.
They were in 3 different time zones, far apart in distance, but not in mission.
Hi, Eva.
Hola. Hi, Wilmer.
Hey, what's up?
How are you?
All right.
What up, me, baby?
Hey, Wilmer.
What's up? How are you, sir? Nice to see you.
Amigo, ¿qué tal?
I was going to ask if you all knew each other, but I see that you do.
Yeah, we know each other very well.
I'm going to just dive right in. How are you guys holding up? I mean, this has been such an intense experience. Wilmer, I know that you often say every morning that you wake up, you are
Already winning, yeah. If you woke up this morning, you're already winning. The sentiment is kind of the same for all of us. There's been a lot of reawakening of things and reinvesting your time in things that are actually really important.
essential workers, farm workers like the ones that you've raised money for, Eva, through the Farm Workers Pandemic Relief Fund. They are now getting recognition, well overdue recognition. But Eva, what do you think of that recognition, and how long do you think it'll last?
Yeah, I don't know if we need recognition. We need help. You know, outside of a pandemic, outside of this crisis, farm workers work in poverty wages. They have substandard living conditions. They have a myriad of health problems because of those living conditions, crammed into one apartment. They have lack of access to healthcare. And now that we're in the pandemic, and it took that to call them essential workers, they are critical to our society and to our very existence. And so if we don't start to create protections and legal protections, if that's not addressed, it will affect America's food supply. We need to make sure that we're showing up for them, because showing up for them is showing up for America. It's the most patriotic thing you can do.
The most patriotic thing you can do.
How do you think people can move from recognition to actually helping?
Well, this is very simple. The President of the United States should start recognizing the job that all these men and women are doing for our country. Congress should recognize this. We have 11 million undocumented. Many of them are Latinos. And used to think that you have to have a passport to belong. You know why you belong? You belong because you are giving your best to the country. Right. So we need to pass immigration reform. This is a way to be recognizing them and to tell them that they belong, that they are not anymore ghosts of the system. We don't even look at their eyes. So let's start looking at their eyes, at their hearts, and let's tell them, really, really, you're important and you are going to finally belong by passing immigration reform.
You know, for so many people, this pandemic has made everyone feel helpless, anxiety. Do you ever feel that anxiety? Because you seem fearless, you know, and how do you turn that into action?
Well, I realized that the urgency of now is yesterday. You know what? I think it's time that sometimes we give way too many speeches. We see the President of the United States giving speeches, senators, congressmen giving speeches. I think we are in this new moment of America that giving a speech and clapping is no good anymore. We need to put boots on the ground and make sure that we take care of the problems in real time. This way, you don't have anxieties anymore.
You know, as you look forward, Eva, you know, thinking about your adorable little son, Santi, when he gets older, what do you think you're going to teach him about this moment, especially, you know, him being a Latino in America?
Yeah, God, I hope, my hope is that he sees how we all came together to confront a microscopic virus that really challenged everybody in the world. Outside of a crisis, the Latino community suffers already with inequity. 37% of Latinos don't have internet access. They just don't have Wi-Fi at home. And 32% of our households don't have computers or equipment to accommodate these children, much less their parents who are trying to work from home. The effects of these hardships are going to continue to reduce exponentially. And so we're going to have a lot of cleaning up to do.
Now, all of you have been really involved in efforts to get out the vote. Are you concerned, Jose, that the pandemic will impede Latinos' ability to get to the polls?
Obviously, we need to see what's going to be happening in the fall. I'm not an expert, but that's why we need to work, if anything, harder to make sure that everybody understands that one vote equals their voices will be heard, and everybody must go to vote. This pandemic is going to spike, and maybe the fall is going to be much worse. So it's very important that we fight for being able to vote by mail, that we fight to make sure that they keep the places, the polling places open.
We have to participate in the census. Then we have to understand that, those numbers have to register to vote. And if you are eligible to vote in your family, you have to represent that household. There is no other way to get around it. You have to vote on behalf of your family and register, and the next thing is we have to show up.
I just want to add, as census has been made very easy. But when it comes to voting, voter suppression is real, my friends. So there are people making it not easy. Okay. And if you look at, what just happened in Kentucky, the state had 3,200 polling places in 2018. And this time they had 200. They cut 3,000 polling places. Why are we making it harder for people to vote? It wasn't a surprise that half of Black Kentuckians lived in Jefferson County, and they decided to put one polling place for 600,000 people. That's going to happen all over the country. Eyes are on us right now of communities of color. And us as Latinos, we have to understand we are intricately tied to our Black brothers and sisters as well. If you don't think what's happening in that community is not happening in our community, you are sadly mistaken. And so we have to hold hands and really come at this election with just a wave of power and a wave of a voice. And so, we are behind Black Lives Matter. We are behind, erasing voter suppression. There's a lot of Afro-Latinas or Afro-Latinx in our communities as well who identify as both. And so there you go. So I just think that it would be amazing to somehow unify the communities of color so that we can really make a change.
As my last question on this topic, Latinos were super diverse, but there are some overarching themes: cultural connections, passion, work ethic, family values, love of food and dance, and all of those things. But what do you think is the Latino characteristic that's going to help our community get through this? Jose.
I will say that if the Latino community has an amazing thing that brings us all together is this sense of family, of not only of each other, but those people are not part of your family. That yes, we come from different places, and that diversity is what makes us stronger. And I think this is going to move through, and is what is going to help the Latino community to give a push to America as a whole. We, the people, all the people.
People always ask me, what is it about Latinos? Why are they always happy, And we don't have our shortage of hits in our community. When times get rough and the storm gets a little louder, we turn our music just as loud. And our music, it's not only unites us, but brings the spirit of not just hard work and family and unity, but we keep swinging.